Well, that happened in 1977, and of course he made his race comeback in 1978 on the Ducati. But in 1977, Mike was looking for a way to figure out in his head if he still had the ability to ride competitively in the Isle of Man. And there wasn't any other way to do that but actually get out there on a bike and do it. And Rod Gould, who was then the advertising promotions manager for Yamaha, who was very good friends with Hailwood at the time, he got together with me and said, and we were talking about Take You to the Limit, and he said, well, what would you like to do to end the film? Because I had no ending of the film at that point. And I said, I'd love to have been around in 1967 when Mike Hailwood ran the six-cylinder Honda. I said, that would have been the epitome of the end of this movie for me. And we never thought any more about it. Until about 3 weeks later, Rod Gould called me up and he says, when do you want to do it? I said, do what? He said, have Hailwood on your bike in the Isle of Man for a lap of the Isle of Man. I said, well, you name the place, I'll be there, kind of thing. And I flew to London. We put a deal together with Mike. Then I flew back for the Manx Grand Prix in September of '77. We had a bike that was put together by Kel Carruthers. The actual camera on the bike was part of what Kel Carruthers built for us. And the bike was provided by Yamaha, courtesy of Paget Brothers, who had a shop in the Isle of Man. And Mike did his first laps in 10 years on a Yamaha W31, which is a pucker race bike. I mean, it was ungodly fast. I was doing 190 miles an hour down the straight from Craignabad to Brandish. That's as fast as at the time as anybody was going. And he hadn't been around the Isle of Man in 10 years. So the film was part of Take It to the Limit. That was the idea of doing it. But from Hailwood's perspective, he was trying to prove to himself that he still had it in him to make a comeback. And at the end of the 2 laps that he did for us, he came in and you sort of knew on his face that he felt comfortable with it. And of course, the rest is history. He made his comeback in '78, and again in '79, won 2 more TTs. And other than Joey Dunlop, I think perhaps maybe McGuinness has won more TTs than anybody, and certainly he's won them on a wider range of motorcycles than anybody. Because he's won, the early '60s TTs on those Hondas. I think he might have won 125 on a Mondial. I mean, he won on Max Norton. And then, of course, he went around on our OW31 Yamaha and won it on a Ducati.